Evening, it's January 2013, Vonnie Van Danger here, ranting and raving about books that I've read. I've read two books recently, one good, one not so good, I wouldn't say bad. The really good one, I think, is her masterpiece. I think it's a fantastic book, Emily Perkins' The Forests. I was never that keen on Novel About My Wife, which was the previous one, because I felt there was something insubstantial about it, a bit contrived, the surreal aspects didn't work, it was a bit oblique but nothing happens. But this book, I think, is her masterpiece. It's fantastic. It follows a family. They're very much the 70s family experimenting with new ideas and ways of living. They're very much a family of their time. They're very self-absorbed, the parents, and the four children are left to, in a sense, bring themselves up, I would think. They go to and from America, and some end up there. And there's also a character, a young boy who's attached to their family as a sort of surrogate brother. So it follows the story of Dorothy Forrest through her childhood, through marriage, motherhood, loss and love found again. And so you could think it's quite an ordinary story, but it's incredibly beautifully told. It's reminded me of Haruki Murakami in some ways, this book did, because there's quite a lot of detail, little things. You follow her tiny movements from one thing to another, and it could be dreary. It could be dreary, but in fact, it's so exquisitely written, and the images are so fresh and surprising that it just captivates you in a way. And yet things are revealed and things are hidden at various points. So it's quite a subtle book. There's nothing on the nose about it. It does keep you reading. It is captivating. You could say not a lot happens, but then a lot does. It's an incredibly human book. It's a very moving book, and I recommend it highly. The next book I read after that, and it's in a way unfair, because she's really, she can really grapple with images, and she's a real great, terrific imagist, and incredibly subtle, incredibly skilled, and this is a debut novel. So this book, but it did come with good credit, it did come with a good rep, called The Snow Child, by someone who's got a lot of vowels in her name, and it could be Eowyn Ivy, I don't know. She lives in Alaska, and she takes the Russian fairy tale of the old man and old woman who longed for a child but couldn't have one, made a snow maiden. Snow maiden came to life. And so this is really this modern day, or a couple living in the 1920s who go out farming, and they're not farming folk, they're city folk. And they do the same thing. They seem to be in their 50s by the time we meet them. And they make a snow maiden, and she's melted in the morning, and then they see this girl, and it just follows this yarn. It's quite a readable yarn, and yeah, I suppose she evokes the countryside, but the characters are there's something unsubtle about it, there's something cheesy about it, there's something sort of hokey and homespun and home on the prairie-ish and John Boyish, almost caricature characters in it. It's you can read it quickly, it doesn't demand too much of you, it doesn't have the subtlety of The Forest, and maybe that's not the kind of book it is. I just wish that someone had pulled her back with these, warm chuckles and kind of lame jokes that really bring it down. But it's probably a good debut novel. It's a good debut novel. It's not a patch on The Forests, though, by Emily Perkins. So that's Vonnie Van Danger, sitting here in a swimming costume, looking more dishevelled each time, but that's me talking to you about books. Do give me some feedback.